Welcome to the session of computer architecture. So today is the second session, and in this session we are going to see the system buses. So myself R Narendran from Erode Sengundar Engineering College, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology. Okay. With no further delay, we shall move on to the concept of system buses. Okay. So first of all, what is system buses? So system bus is one which plays a main role in the data communication. A bus is a communication system that transfers data between the system components such as computer and other peripheral devices, or in fact in between two different computers also, that is among the different networks. A system bus is a single computer bus that connects major components of the computer system, combining the functions of the data bus, address bus, and control bus. Basically, there are three types of buses as we know. So, the data bus is the bus which involves the transfer of data from one particular part of a computer component to another particular part of a computer component, or from one computer component to some other computer component, which forms different network. A system bus is a whole bus which involves data, address, and control informations. So the address bus is used to determine where the data is stored and where the particular data is retrieved. Okay, so these forms the system buses. So next one is the control bus. The control bus involves the transfer of data, uh, that is the transfer of control information such as read, write, update, and such kind of operations from one particular part of a computer to another particular part of a computer. Okay, so this forms the main um, reason behind why we are using system buses and what are the significance of system bus. Okay, so hope you are clear with this particular concept. Okay, so next we will move on to the types of buses. As I have already told you, there are different types of buses such as the data bus, address bus, control bus, and in fact power buses and external buses also. The address bus is the one which carries memory addresses from one processor, that is one CPU, to another components of the CPU. For example, from one processor to some other primary storage and input output devices. Okay, so next one is data bus. Data bus is the one which carries the data between the processor and some other components of the computer. Okay, so next one is control bus. The control bus is one which transfers the control signals, electrical pulses such as control signals, for example read, write, and this kind of control signals to different parts of the computer. So another one is external bus. The external bus is the cable which is used to connect between the internal devices of the computer to the external devices. For example, peripheral devices. We can know different types of peripheral devices such as a printer, joystick, mouse, a keyboard, and some other kinds of external peripheral devices. So these peripheral devices get communicated with the computer by using bus, which is called as external bus. Okay, they are also used to connect internal buses and also internal devices. Okay, so this is one of the important aspect. So what are the functions of buses? Okay, so meanwhile we should know what are the different functions of buses. So basically we know that buses are used for data communication, that is communication from one part of a system to another part of a system. So this communication involves various types of data transfers. For example, data sharing. All types of buses found in the computer transfers the data between one peripheral devices to another peripheral device, or one peripheral devices to internal parts of a certain components of a computer. So next one is addressing. Okay, so the direct example is address bus. So addressing a bus has address lines. As we know that microprocessors are having address lines, which we can specify it as AD0, AD1 up to etc. Will move on. Okay, in terms of powers of 2. Okay, so likewise, the bus has the address lines which match those of the processor. Okay, so this allows the data to send to and from the specific type of memory locations or address locations. Okay, while we are using registers, there are specific kinds of registers called as indirect and direct addressing. Okay, we will specify within square bracket, we will specify the content of the particular register by means of location. So this is some of the example of this address bus. Okay. Next one is power. So a bus supplies power to the some other computers. For example, the bus is nothing but a cable, that is a group of lines, right? So with the help of that only we can able to give proper power to the system or some other peripheral devices. So next one is timing. So the bus provides a system clock signal. So this is nothing but a control bus. Okay, so system clock signal to synchronize the peripheral devices attached to it with the rest of the computer components. Okay, so that is one of the important thing. So next one, so this is the basic architecture of system bus. So in this architecture, you can able to see the three different types of buses, such as control bus, address bus, and data bus. These three buses are communicated with CPU, memory, and input and output devices. For example, peripheral devices. So these you can see that control, address, and data bus is cumulatively represented by a dotted line. So these three buses, for example, control, address, and data bus, these three buses forms part of system bus. We can say these three in group as system bus. Okay, so that is one of the architectural diagram we have seen. So this is nothing but the bottom of the motherboard. So where different ICs and some other different components are connected. So you can see the red colored line. Okay, here you can see the red colored line. So this is nothing but the system bus. Okay, this is nothing but a system bus. So in the system, the buses in the motherboard, we can specify and we can see the uh, bus as here. Okay, so the diagrams and pictures shows the different types of buses. Okay, internal bus, external bus, and ordinary cable. Okay, so external buses are nothing but it forms part of the computer which connects the some other components of the peripheral devices. Okay, we can connect internal components of a computer to the external peripheral devices or components. Various types of buses are there. We'll see one by one in the upcoming slides. Okay, so SATA. So we can collectively say it as serial ATA. Okay, it is abbreviated as serial AT attachment. Okay, so the bus interface that connects the host bus adapter to mass storage devices such as hardware drives, optical drives such as CDs, and storage devices, and solid state drives. So you can easily see this once you dismantle the cabinet of the CPU. Okay, this is one of the data cable which is used for serial data transmission. There are two different types of data transmission: serial transmission and parallel data transmission. So this is serial data transmission. Next one is PCI bus. So it is nothing but peripheral component interconnect bus. Okay, so it connects the CPU and the expansion ports such as modem, NIC card, network interface card, we can say, and animation card and sound cards. So these are some of the external components. We need to connect these components with the processor or CPU, which are attached to the motherboard. So for that purpose, we are using peripheral component interface bus, PCI bus. So you can see in the diagram that the CPU is connected with the PCI bridge. Okay, so by using the PCI bus, the bus master and the DMA controller, that is direct memory access controller, gives the way for connecting the PCI buses with the CPU through PCI bridge. Okay, in the diagram you can see the four different white color strips. So they are nothing but these are the components wherein you can able to plug in or plug out the PCI buses. Okay, so this is nothing but a PCI bus, PCI bus slots. Okay, next one is AGP, accelerated graphics port. Okay, it is nothing but it is nothing but a direct connection between the card, graphics card, and this memory. AGP interface provides a dedicated specified bus for graphics data or animation data. So AGP cards are able to render the graphics, as it is generally meant for graphics rendering, graphics card, or I can specify it as animation card. So there is a slot where you can see by means of red color marking. So there you can see AGP connector bus. Okay, so this is nothing but AGP connector bus. Next one is ISA, Industry Standard Architecture Bus. It is a standard bus architecture for data transmission or address transmission. It was first initiated by IBM International Business Machine for its own computer components. So it is a standard bus used for IBM compatible machines. Okay, so so these are all the different types of buses as of now we have seen. Okay, a quick review. I would like to tell you that um, so buses are something that is used to connect for the means of communication, which communication may be data transfer, address transfer, or control signal transfer, or power supply also. Okay, so next one is there are different types of buses such as internal bus and external bus. So these types of buses are mainly meant for data communication. So they are used for data sharing, address sharing, and control sharing, power supply production, sorry, power supply giving, and timing signal monitoring. So these three different types of buses forms a specified name as system bus. So we have seen these three: SATA, PCI bus, AGP, okay, and ISA. So these are all the basic things you need to understand while you are dealing with um, what is meant by bus architecture. So in this session, we have seen the different types of um, bus transmission, bus architecture. So what are all the features of buses, and this in this next session or in the next upcoming video we shall see the various types of arithmetic operations performed in computer architecture. Hope you like this video. So see you in our next video of this lecture series. Until then, thank you for watching.